let's try this new Sisley Phyto-teint Perfection Foundation. It retails for $125 for 1 ounce and comes in 29 colors. The shade range, as you can see, tends toward mediums and lights. If you are very fair like me, it does have a very good range of fair shades for us. The claims are that it hydrates the skin immediately and intensely. Not so sure about that. Smooths the skin texture, yes. Illuminates the complexion, a little bit. The key ingredients are all kinds of extracts, as you can see, and they really make for a very refined texture. Let's do my skin prep. I like to start with this 6 Peptide Skin Booster by CosRX. It is a great first layer of moisture. Next, I use this Olay Super Serum. It's got both peptides and my vitamin C all in one. For my moisturizer, I'm using the new Innisfree Green Tea Seed Hyaluronic Cream. And finally, I absolutely love this Kopari Sunshield Sunscreen. And finally, I do need a little bit of priming, and this new Dermatology primer is great. I'm gonna start out with 2 pumps, and I'm gonna start out by using my hands. They recommend several different ways of applying this foundation. One of them is with your fingers, so we're gonna do that first, and then we're gonna use a kabuki brush for the second one. As you can see, this is very, it doesn't feel thick when you first squeeze it out, but as you are rubbing it in, it really melds with your skin and you really rub it in for this very, very smooth, perfected sort of finish. It also dries down super fast, so I would not recommend doing large areas. Don't do the standard dots all over your face and then rub it in. Do small areas at a time. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and tamp this in with just a dry brush and then a dry sponge. And this is the most natural application that I can get. It is very, very smooth. Here's without. You can see my vein. And here's with. It just looks like beautiful skin, but better than my skin. So I'm gonna go ahead and go straight in with the kabuki brush this time. I used 2 drops, and you can see I'm getting heavier coverage this way. And it is just, it is like an airbrush. It is gorgeous. Again, I really have to push it into the skin to get that real smooth application. And there wasn't enough to do my forehead when I did it this way. It used more. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, so you can see that's the side where I put it on just as lightly as possible, and this is sort of the kabuki brush side, which I think is gorgeous. Okay, I'm gonna go back in and use this as my extra coverage over spots. I'm gonna try putting it a little bit under my eyes to see what I think of that. And yeah, it really makes a great concealer. It does build up really well. However, it still dries really fast, so you gotta be careful. Now, I am gonna go in with my usual Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer in R2, and we are going to just put this in my usual areas. Okay, so here's what it looks like before I'm gonna powder it. You really don't need to powder it. This is gorgeous. I am, however, going to try powdering it because I really like having things set down. It just, I don't know, it's oily skin, old habits, and it just makes me feel better. This really takes powder. Go light with it, but it takes powder really well. I'm using the Givenchy Prisme Libre. This is what it looks like, just powdered all over. It just looks matte and perfected and very, very beautiful. Let's go ahead and put the rest of my makeup on and give you my final thoughts. Okay, makeup is on. I think this is beautiful so far. It feels so good, like second skin, not too dry. You do have to work with it really quickly, otherwise it does sort of set down real quick, and then you might have trouble making it look nice and smooth. So definitely one part of your face at a time. But if you do that, this looks so good. So spoiler alert, I have been wearing this for a few weeks, and I kind of know how this weird dress is gonna go, but let's go ahead and go through it anyway, just so you can see how it wears on somebody with, basically, I kind of have normal-ish skin right now. I'm not very oily. This one is really made for people with oily skin. I did wear this a bit when I had oily skin still. I loved it. It was probably the best on oily skin, but with my normal to a bit dry, patchy, peely skin, I just had another peel done like a week and a half ago. And so I do have a bit of peeling. That's probably not the best time to be wearing this, is when you're peeling. It makes it harder to work with, but once you set it down, it's fine. It's just that if you end up really rubbing a section and it peels, you gotta kind of start all over with the whole thing and like moisturize. Anyway, this is not gonna apply to most people. What I'm saying is that I have worn this with pretty much all the different skin types, and I'll let you know what I think of it for all the different skin types, but I love this. So far, I absolutely love this, which for that price range, you would hope so. So let's go ahead and get into the wear test so you can just see how it wears. Everybody asks what my lipstick is. So today, this is Dior Addict Beige Oblique. I love these, especially when my lips are dry and I am sort of back on the Accutane a bit, so I'm kind of like on and off of it right now because of the peeliness and stuff. But my lips are dry. And this is just such a nice like neutral pink, and it's almost my lips, but more moisturizing, a little shinier, prettier. I love this color. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the wear test, and then I will give you my final thoughts. Okay, here we are in natural light at 2 hours. I mean, just like no change. It's so perfect. It's so nice. It's pretty much unchanged at this point. It's really, really pretty. I am a little dry and peely in some of these areas, so if you see sort of some texture there, I wouldn't blame that on foundation. That is me recovering from a peel, and there's only so much moisturizing that you can do to get around it. So at any rate, this still looks absolutely perfect to me. It's only been 2 hours though. Okay, now we're at 4 hours, again in natural light. I mean, literally no change. It's one of those ones where you're just like, I can't believe it. This is so good. Okay, so I have made it to, I think it's about 8 hours, a little bit more. Virtually no change. Now, that is because I am no longer oily. If I was oily, it would break up just a little bit, and I did try this when I was a little bit more oily, and there is, in my T-zone, there's always a little bit of breakup, but it's not until like the 6 to 8 hour mark. So it holds up really, really well. I can't show you that here because I'm now dry. I will say, if you have normal skin, if you are dry, you can still wear it, and it's just pretty much stays the same as when you put it on. There's just no change. It really holds up really, really well without being cakey. I feel a little bit dry, now that I'm thinking about it, but that's because I'm a little bit dry right now. I am peeling a little bit. I'm still going through that skin sloughing off a little bit rough period. So my skin, even though I'm moisturizing a lot, is kind of going through some cycles trying to renew itself after a peel. So I'm going to feel a little drier than usual. I have been wearing this for weeks. I have worn it with oily skin, with dry skin, like really dry skin, and sort of in between. It is a little harder to wear with dry skin, especially if you're peely. But if you're moisturized, it's still really, really nice. It does give you a very natural looking matte finish without being cakey or mask-like. Now, if you like really glowy skin, you can do what I did, which is to put a lot of stuff underneath it to help the glow kind of shine from beneath. But you're still going to, with this one, you're still going to end up with overall a more matte finish. So that's definitely like what you would be wanting to go for. If you like really glowy, this is not it. It does not have like a bunch of glow itself. It's just a really nice natural matte. Yeah, I would actually recommend this one for all different skin types if you like a natural matte finish. The price is really the only downside as far as I can see to this. It's Sisley. It's luxury, it's got really nice ingredients and a lot of different colors to choose from. It's a luxury product, and unfortunately, they can ask for luxury prices. What I don't like is when you shell out all that money, Tom Ford, and you're not happy with the finish on it. I love Tom Ford. I absolutely, that has been their soft traceless matte was my favorite foundation for years and years. They updated it to their new architecture line. I think it's just architecture matte, something like that. I bought it. It was masky, thick, awful, $150, even more than this one. And I returned it. It was that bad. I don't know what happened. And good Lord, the amount of perfume they put in that thing. I don't know if they're under different management or whatever, because I absolutely love almost all Tom Ford products. This was such a miss. I don't understand. And I tried that with both oily skin and dry skin, and it was not good for either. It just picked up texture. It looked like a mask. It was one of the worst foundations I've tried recently, so it definitely went back. So all of that to say that this one actually lives up to its very expensive price tag. So if you are in the market for this particular kind of finish that is just going to be comfortable and beautiful, is very lightly scented, it really works even when your skin is having issues. So it's good for kind of like, if you're like me, your skin changes a lot. So there's some days where one foundation would look great, but another would not, and then vice versa. This one is sort of like, I would take this one on vacation because I know it's going to look good every day. So something like that can ask those kind of prices. Now on colors, I've had a lot of people asking, because it is so expensive, not every place in the world is able to return these, and not every person is able to go look at swatches and get samples and things like that. So I, of course, am on the very, very light end. I'm in the 00 colors. They have 0, they have 1, and then it just goes up from there. 00C, I can say, is just like a spot-on match for my skin tone. It is absolutely perfect. I have a couple of, samples here of other similar foundations that are totally different colors but also work on me, and it may help you decide what color you want to try. Obviously, if you can go into like a Nordstrom's, that's where I was able to get mine, and go up to the beauty counter and get samples or have them try it on you, I very much recommend doing that instead. But this hopefully is helpful for you in the meantime. What I did find is that it is an exact dupe color, and like the way that it dries down and oxidizes a little bit, it does oxidize a little bit, at least in this color. It is an exact match for Natasha Denona's High Glam Concealer in R2. I mean, they are like spot on. So if you're able to go try these, that might help you, and you need to order online. Try the R2. That is the same as 00C Swan in this particular one. Okay, now I can't afford to get all of the different ones and get a whole bunch of different colors to swatch. So what I can do, and what I've already done in my community tab, is if you have a question, say you have your favorite foundation that matches you and you think 00C is going to be a match for you, but you're not sure, let me know what your foundation matches are in other brands, and if I have it, I will go ahead and swatch it next to it for you. So just go ahead and leave it in the comments or go onto my community tab and ask me. I already have a couple of the swatches up. Just ask me for other swatches. I can do that, no problem. I am more than happy to go and do swatches because I love doing swatches. Okay, all right, well, obviously I love this. I think it is for all skin types.
The only downside is literally the price. So if you want to splurge, this is a great one to splurge on, and it is a fantastic, great foundation, and is probably my favorite foundation of the year. Of course it is. It's expensive, so that's it. If you have any questions, as always, leave them below. And if you have not subscribed and you like this kind of content, I sure would appreciate it if you would like and subscribe, as it really helps my channel to grow, and I really appreciate you guys being here. All right, well, I have a bunch of big videos that I'm working on, so they should be coming out pretty soon, so just bear with me. I ended up getting a sty last week, so there's sort of a backlog of work. I couldn't film it all because one of the new things that I tried caused me to get a really big sty on my eye, and I had to let it heal and just leave it alone and throw away some makeup. So, bummer. This is one of the dangers of trying makeup, sometimes from questionable places, which, you know, I do. So, oh well. Okay, well, I hope you guys are having a good day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully it will be either summer favorites. I have a huge haul of Amazon and Temu and Halara, a whole bunch of really great summer clothes, shoes, sunglasses, makeup, sunscreen, jewelry, all the things that I'm getting excited for summer, because it is not summer here yet in the Seattle area. It is so cold and rainy. It is such a bummer. I'm ready, so I'm gonna go ahead and make the video and maybe summer will catch a clue and show up. All right, so I've got that, and I've got a big skincare video that I'm still kind of putting together. So stay tuned for both of those, and in the meantime, I hope you are having a wonderful week, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks again.